Okay. So can you tell me what are all the tables that you know till now? Or yeah, you can tell me what are all the tables that we have used till now.
SVV underscore table underscore info,
Mm-hmm.
and STL underscore load underscore errors,
Yeah. So SVV tables info SVV tables or let me see. Is it table or tables? SVV table info or SVV tables info? Which one? Be
SVV
clear.
underscore table underscore info,
Okay. Yeah. And other one is what is the other one?
STL underscore load underscore errors.
Yeah, STL load errors. So there will be definite question on SVV tables info. I think it is SVV tables. Okay, I'll make it clear.
Are you recording?
Sir,
Yeah, it's recorded.
sir, yesterday I have one raise one doubt.
Yeah, we'll come to that doubt at the end of this session. It is SVV
Okay,
table info. Okay, SVV underscore table underscore info. Okay, so yeah, so anytime you are studying about any table, just Google the table and there it will be mentioned what are the list of columns. Like I have explained about SVV table. At that time, I think we studied about size, unsorted, stats of okay table rows, and estimated visible rows, right? So the columns meaning will be explained in this documentation. So just if you come across any table, just Google it and read about those columns. So what does it mean actually? So okay. So these two are the main tables that we will be using every day in our day-to-day job. So definitely there is a question, okay, SVV table info and STL load errors. Okay, so the question will be like this. Um, if you want to know how many records are there in a table and you want to see the size of a table, so which table you will use? I want to see the size of a table, okay, and number of records in the table. So how do you know? He will ask like that. He don't even say which system table. He will just say, I want to know the number of records in a table as well as size of the table, and yeah, these details. So how do you know? He will ask. How do you know? SVV table info. Yes, I tried in SVV table info. What are all there? Okay, so database name, schema name. Table means table name. Okay, so it's a distribution style. Yeah, all these things will be there. For example, size. Size means size in MB. Okay, size of the table in MB. So whatever number shows, it is in MB. So for and of course unsorted, it will show the percentage of unsorted. Stats of what did we say about stats of column? What is the use of stats of? What does it mean? Stats of, we told you right when we discuss about analyze. So
yes,
stats
sir.
of 0 means current, stats
Means
of 100
current
means
analysis
out. Yeah, stale
out of
means
out of
old. Yeah. So if you see stats of 100 and you want to refresh the stats means what you have to do, analyze table name. Then it will collect stats and you will see stats of column 0. So table rows and estimated visible rows. I told you we have detailed discussion on each column. What is table rows and what is estimated visible rows? Estimated visible rows means actually actual number of rows in a table. Okay, it will not consider the rows marked for deletion. Okay, whereas the table rows will show not only actual rows but rows marked for deletion also it will show table rows. Okay, so generally you will see table rows more value. Estimated visible rows you will see actual number of rows in a table. So if you see the difference is too much, that means there are more number of rows marked for deletion. Because if you see TVL underscore rows has 10 millions, but estimated visible rows are only 1 million. Means 10 times more. Okay, blocks are there which are marked for deletion. That means that much space is yet to clear or yet to be released. So you can run the vacuum. So when you run vacuum, what happens? All the rows marked for deletion will be cleared. That means the space occupied by those rows will be released. So remember the vacuum session, very, very important. Because it is important because these are the issues we get. For example, you see in this case 1 million, 10 million. So actually if the table size is 1 TB, but because of this uh, rows marked for deletion, it is occupying 10 TB space. So how do you do? Your job is failing with database space issue. Okay, so your job is failing with database space issue. So then what do you do? So if you answer that no, I will increase the space. How do you increase the space? In Redshift, if you have to increase the space, you have to add more nodes, or you have to add higher configuration node, but that comes with a cost. Or of course, if you are using RA3 node types, then no problem. Okay, so yeah, because in RA3 space will be auto. I mean, because managed storage, right? So you will be charged to how much space you are using. Okay, but if you are using DC2 or DS2 nodes, okay, but if your current space is occupied by the rows marked for deletion and your jobs are failing with you know no more room or with disk full, generally the issue error log will show disk full error. That is what the term, you will see disk full error in Redshift. So then you should not say that. In fact, first as a first answer, you will say we will increase the space. Then he will say that how do you increase the space? You have to resize the cluster. Resizing means you have to add more nodes, but that comes with a cost. So interviewer says that no, we don't want to, because adding node is not easy, right? You have to go through approvals. Management need to approve. It's not that, or in other words, every time job fails, it's not that you will add the node. So that's not a feasible solution. So so you have to find out a way by which you can clear the space. Okay, or you can make a way so that you will have more space available without adding more nodes or without increasing the cost of the system. So at that time only we will be doing this kind of analysis. We'll query SVV table info. Okay, order by table rows descending, and you will see descending means what, highest number of rows on top. So you will see which is the difference between table rows and estimated visible rows. So whatever table has high difference means it has more rows marked for deletion. So you will vacuum those tables. So when you vacuum, automatically the space occupied by those tables will be released, and you will have more space. Did you get my point? Hello, are you clear on this point?
Yes, Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, so that means how we came to know which table has, a scope for releasing the space by using SVB table info. So that is one aspect. And second aspect is checking the statistics of a table. So you can check the statistics of a table by checking the stats of column in SVB table info. Stats of 0 means current, 100 means stale. Okay. So yeah, these two main. Of course, the vacuum sort benefit, it will show some number, but this will automatically taken care when you do the vacuum. Yeah. So, but of course, sometimes the question will come like this. Okay. For example, I want to know the table name. Okay, its encoding, its distribution style. Okay. So sort key, all these details. Then how do you know? Okay, how do you know? Table name, distribution style, encoding, sort key details. How do you know? Can anyone answer?
SVB underscore table underscore info. Self start.
Okay. Yeah.
Self
So yeah,
start from
definitely.
SVB underscore.
Yeah. Right. 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 So by querying SVV table info, you can know that. See, I'll check SVV table info. Select start from SVV table info. So this will show all the tables. So, or if you want to write a direct query, order by tbl underscore rows descending. We generally use DAC. Okay, so okay, so it will bring many. You see, I think, yeah, 9 records because I have only 9 tables. Okay, so what are these tables? You see, these tables. Okay, listing, sales, users, event, date, venue, category, department, and department all. See here, a database name, schema name, table name, database name, schema name, table name, encoding, it's encoding, auto encoding, or if you use any other encoding, it will show that encoding. And distribution style. See, distribution style, key means key or event ID, or you see all, whatever it is. If it is all, it will show all. If it's even, it will show even. And you see sort key. If there is a sort key defined in any column, it will show sort key. If there is a sort key, otherwise it will show auto sort key. If we have not created anything, it will show as auto sort key. Means it will take automatically if you don't define anything. And of course, max varchar column means if there is, for example, varchar columns, and if there is any varchar column with maximum size, it will show. Okay, so in this table, varchar column maximum size is 100. In this table, what is this table? Event table, maximum varchar column is 200. So that's what it means. Okay, then size, you see, this is the size, means size of a table. Okay, so here the number you see is in MB. For example, in real time, for example, let's say you are seeing here 44,000. Okay, 44,000, let's say. Then it's a 44,000 MB. 44,000 means 44,000 MB means 44 GB. That's what it means. You put three digits as thousand, right? Three digits, three zeros, 1,000, right? So 44,000 MB. So put comma for three after three zeros. So 44 GB. MB next GB. So 44 GB, like that you should calculate. So okay, that is size of a table. So what I said to you is, see the difference between table rows and estimated visible rows. See these two columns, table rows and estimated visible rows. Okay, these two columns. So if the difference more means, yeah, what is that additional rows? Those additional rows are rows marked for deletion. So if you vacuum, you will get this space released. Okay, without adding nodes or anything. Understand? So this table is very helpful in sorting out many of the issues. Okay, especially is a space issue, and other one is, what is the other one? Statistics issue, means actually that is performance issue. Okay, so whenever there is, anyway, I will tell you. Okay, that in the performance, I already said in the statistics, right? So if there is no statistic or when we discuss the analyze and vacuum, if there is no up-to-date statistics, optimizer cannot come up with the best plan. Okay, so at that time a simple query may run longer. So you have to make sure that all the tables that are used in the query statistics are up to date. So how do you know whether the statistics are up to date? So again, from SCB table info, see the column stats of this column. Okay, stats of this column. So 0 means yes, statistics are up to date. Okay, 100 means statistics are stale. So okay, for example, right now I have ran the query for all. Okay, but in real time you may have thousands of tables. Then how do you do? How do you do? You just run select star from SCV table info where table equals to DEPT. Here you see uh, table we should use in double quote because it's a keyword. Okay, for example, the same, you see, table. Okay, schema. If you want to put filter on table and schema, you should use them in double quote. For example, table is there in more than one schema, then you may get multiple entries. So at that time, you can also put another filter and schema schema equals to public. I want department table which is there in public schema only, and public schema also you should put in double quote. Okay, for example, I don't put in double quote. I want to show you the error. Okay, generally, so what you will get an error. What is that error? Yeah, select star from SVV table info where table equals to department. Okay, so let's say this is your query, and if you run, yeah, it will show error. I think that query, this only table. See syntax error at or near table. Okay, so it is not recognizing table because it's a keyword. That's why, for example, see here, you can identify just based on the color coding. Okay, see, table is blue, where is blue, select is blue. Okay, keywords are blue. Okay, so table it's taking as the keyword. Okay, so you have to put it in double code because, okay, now, okay, where table equals to report, select star from SAV table info, where then you will get, okay, department table details. Because why I'm running this, there may be, 10,000 tables in your, for your customer, but you're investigating on one table. So how to fetch that table? Like this, you have to apply filter. So it will fetch only that particular record. Okay, now you can see, okay, department public, okay. So yeah, this style is key on department number. Okay, that's fine. Auto encoding, yes, auto sort key. Okay, fine. So size is here, you see this is our testing table means we are practicing, that's why it is 12 MB. But in real time you may have 12,000 MB or even 12 lakh MB if it is too big. So so be it is same. You see, we are doing prototype of what we are doing in production. Okay, I'm doing the same troubleshooting what I do in production. Okay, but only numbers are less here. Their figures will be more. So okay, 12 MB. Okay, so then stats of 100. Okay, yeah, stats of 0 means current statistics are up to date. Okay, fine. So again, I will see this is table rows and estimated visible rows. Yes, that is also fine. So absolutely there is no issue here. And what about I said about this skew? Skew means what I said, uneven distribution of data across the slices. So I said up to 4%, not only 4, up to 20-30% skew is okay, accepted. Okay. So skew up to 20-30% skew is okay. So skew is also within the range. Okay, ideally skew is ideally 0. Okay, but skew up to 20-30% is okay. So it is, so skew also no problem here. So this problem absolutely does not have any issue unless if a query, why we are investigating, if you are investigating this with respect to performance of a query which involved many other tables, then you have to see about the distribution column and that, I mean, those details that I will tell you while discussing the performance kind of thing. Okay, for now, yeah, we have to, yeah, see these details. And I asked right on question. You want to see, schema, table, distribution key, sort key. Okay, so these details where do you find means, yes, of course you can find in the SVV table info. But I have already told you one more thing. You can also, if he is asking about, how do you find the table name, schema name, column names, data types, distribution key and sort key, those details, you can also tell him show table. I have used it right many times, show table DEPT. And this also, yeah, what it will do, it will just give the DDL of a table. Okay, DDL of a table. So see, I told you this when we were, I also asked you about what is the equivalent in Oracle. I asked, right, describe or something like that, you said. Okay, so you see here, show table also will give what is his question. I want to see its schema, table, columns. Okay, see, columns, data types, and its distribution key. Okay, and if there is any sort key, you will see here also sort key details here. If there is any sort key, it will be there here after distribution key. So all these details you can see by giving show table. So you can tell that as well. Understand what to answer if he is asking question like this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, because many times you see, especially while troubleshooting performance issues, we want to see what is the distribution style and is there any sort key or is there any I mean data types and their sizes. These details we want to see. Okay, so that's why either we'll be querying SVV table info or even simpler than that is show table. Just in show table you can see everything. But in SVV table info, you can also see size of the table, statistics, those details also. So these two will be used together when we are troubleshooting performance issues. That's why SVV table is most. In fact, we are using this table from day one of the Redshift session. So that is so much important. Then STL load error, we have used it when we are troubleshooting the copy jobs, right? So it said, okay, some issue, please uh, see STL load error. For errors like that we got message, right? And we are running copy jobs. So just check what is this STL load errors. Redshift STL load errors. Oh, okay. STL load errors. See STL load error. Same thing. You have to open this and you have to study about what are the columns involved. Okay. Table means table name. Start time, you say start time in UTC. Okay, start time of the load. Query means which query ID, file name. Okay, so the S3 file name it is, line number. Okay, in which line your issue occurred. Okay, so actually main thing that we are worried about is this one, error line and error reason. That's what we saw during our so copy troubleshooting. Error code is okay. Error reason it will show, could not find the delimiter, like that. Okay, so error reason means it's actually error description. It will talk about what is the error it found. So based on that only we will get some idea. Okay, so could not find the delimiter. That means we are running with the delimiter which we did not specify in the copy script, or there is some other delimiter used in the file. We have mentioned some other delimiter in the copy script, like that. Or maybe some for example, uh, we have written prepared copy script for 3 columns, but 4 columns are coming in the source. Then it will say the error message saying that a mismatch of the columns in the source file, like that. It will give error message if it is getting more fields than what is there in your copy script. So basically based on this reason only you will get to know, okay, where we are doing mistake or why the job is failing. So that's why it just says copy job failed, please refer STL load error. That's what we found, right, while running the copy script. So only for IAM related issues it showed the error, or access related issues. But issue related to data loading, it just said please refer to STL load error. Copy failed, please refer STL load error. Yes or no? It said like that or no? Hello?
Yes.
It said like that or no? When copy failed, what it said? Please refer STL load error. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So then we queried STL load error and understood what is the issue. If you practice, you will know, okay. So, I mean, if you forget at the time of class what we did, if you practice, you will know. Because I know you will miss something and it will fail. So then you will see the error and okay, then you will understand. Okay, so that is the way it is. Okay, STL load error is the next most important table. So yeah, he will ask, so your copy job failed. Like, how do you troubleshoot? Immediately you should say that, yeah, if a copy job failed due to IAM errors, then it will directly show, okay. So, I mean, access denied error. If a copy job failed due to not associating the IAM role to the cluster, then it will show uh, role is not associated. I mean, I'm telling all these cases because it will show how much depth of knowledge you have. Okay. So, and if the copy job failed with some data load issue, then it will show copy failed. Please refer STL load error. Actually, he is expecting this answer, but I am giving the additional answers also before he ask me. That means just to tell him that, or just to let him know that I know, boss. Okay, so STL load error is what actually he was expecting. Okay, and then in the STL load error, we will see the line number, S3 file name, and error code and error description. Based on that, I'll be doing okay whatever needful to be done to restart the job or to correct the issue. Bus, understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. So yeah, these two are the main tables, okay, which we will be using in our day-to-day life, okay, to save our job. Reminding all, STL connection log, okay, it will show where from the you connections are coming and establishing to the Redshift. Okay, because in real time there are many people who is connecting to Redshift, right? You are just developer, but there are testing team will be there, production jobs will be running, and many BI jobs. BI jobs means the reporting jobs, people from Tableau, Business Objects, Cognos, Microsoft Power BI. So many BI tools will be connecting. So in from this, you will be able to know from where the connection is coming and connecting to the cluster. You can also query this and see. Okay, STL connection log. So it will show remote host, means the host from where it's coming. Let me open. You see remote host, remote port means where from the connection is coming. Okay, so PID means process ID, username with which user it's connecting to the cluster. Okay, and how long it's connected. So yeah, those details. Remote host means, what do you think remote host? It's the IP address. Okay, IP address or the endpoint of the server that is connecting. Port means port. Okay, so based on that, if it is IP means IP or endpoint, I said right, it is ETL server, BI server, like that. For everything, one name will be there. Okay, for example, you see for my Redshift, this is endpoint. Okay, this is called endpoint. Actually, IP address will be there, that is masked as an endpoint in cloud. Okay, so we will not expose the IP, only this is the endpoint we will use to connect, and people will see this. So based on this, we can say yes, it's the Redshift request that's coming. Similarly, for Tableau or anything, so we will see based on the name whether it's Tableau or Microsoft Power BI or whatever it is. Or sometimes in our Redshift case, we'll be using endpoint. Others may be using, their IP address. Okay, so that's up to them. But based on that, we will know. Okay, and of course, this is IP, right? So I will tell you. And there is, what is the other thing? Username. So in username, if it is endpoint, then you can see. But if it's IP, you will just see, 10.10 dot some 23.78. So you will not know. Then you need to look into username. Generally, username or Redshift means, some, you know, uh, AWS user, something like that it will be. Or if it's QuickSight means QuickSight user, something. Or if it's Tableau means BI user underscore Tableau, something will be there. So based on that username, you will get some clarity. Okay, from where it's coming, or from which BI app or ETL, from where it's coming. So based on this information, you will be checking where from the request is coming. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So you people may think like, why STL connection log is so important. Why it is so important? Why we are discussing everything that I said is important, because I will tell you this is related to performance issue. Because I will tell you at the time of discussing performance issue, but now I will tell. Sometimes your server or Redshift cluster will be slow, not because of the ETL jobs, copy jobs, or not because of the statistics or anything. There may be many other jobs running on the system which are related to Tableau, Microsoft Power BI, Cognos, and some testing jobs are running. So at that time also your cluster will become slow because it is too much affected by the other jobs, and they have the performance issue and they are impacting the system. At that time you have to run this and see who are all connecting. Or sometimes the issue happened 2 days ago, and management asked you and troubleshoot what happened last Sunday afternoon. Somebody may, obviously they will say Sunday nobody is on shift and jobs ran late, and they missed SLA. Then on Monday, after the discussion Tuesday, they will say, okay, please investigate what happened. Then you can query this table and see who are all connected on Sunday. Okay, based on this connection log data, you can see, okay, who are all the users ran on the cluster. So based on this duration also you can see which user ran how much duration. So all these tables that I mentioned is somehow are related to performance or our day-to-day troubleshooting. That's why I listed them. So that is STL connection log. STV slices, it's actually not required. But yesterday I ran right select star from STV slices. This is to see how many slices are there in your cluster. Select star from STV slices. I ran it right yesterday. Do you remember? So in my cluster I have only two slices because you see node 0 means only one node 0. But you see slice 0, slice 1. Okay. So two slices. So that is STV slices. If even generally if you may ask how many slices are there in your cluster, how do you know? You see in interview boss he can ask you anything. Actually it is a simple silly question. Okay, but still if you don't answer, he will think that this guy don't have any knowledge. He claims 3 years experience, but he don't know the query, how to know the number of slices in the Redshift cluster. So yeah, STV underscore slices. And one more thing, you see, even you are an experienced person, if you answer, some six, not only six, 7 or 8 questions, you are good. Not good, you are very good. 7 or 8 questions means you are very good. 1 or 2 questions, nobody can answer. Don't worry. Even if the interviewer goes to interview, there will be 1 or 2 questions which he will not be able to answer. So that is accepted. But we should be able to answer 7 or 8 questions. Okay, that is very good performance. It will be considered as very good performance. If you can answer 10 out of 10, then it's outstanding. Okay, cool. So the other types of tables are STV in-flight and STV recents. These are all very, very important. Again, STV in-flight will have all the queries that are currently executing. I already shared this document to you, so please go through the notes. Everything that I mentioned in this document are important. Okay. Apart from reading the video or listening the video, you just type in the Google and study about each and everything that I mentioned or that I wrote in this document. STV in flight. What will STV in flight will do? Currently, what is running on the system will be shown by this STV in flight. Right now, what is running will be shown in the STV in flight. Okay. So what is running right now? For example, right now system is running slow. Okay. So we are expecting that. For example, now what is the time? This is showing India time, no, not India time. What is it showing? Our time only. Yeah. Oh, my computer also showing my time. Yeah, because of the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. Okay, cool. So, for example, now it's 9 o'clock, right? The jobs which are supposed to complete by 8 p.m. my time, 8 p.m. my time are still running. Let's say, still running. Then management will come and say, hey, why the jobs are still running? Can you please let me know what is currently running? Then you have to run the STV in flight. Then STV in flight will show all the queries that are running right now. So in that result, you will also see if there is any job running from last 5 hours or 4 hours or 3 hours or 2 hours. So obviously you can catch the long running jobs from STV in flight. And STV recents, it will show the waiting jobs. Generally, in the real time, many jobs will run at the same time, but we'll set a control that at the same time only some 5 jobs or 10 jobs to be run, remaining should wait. Okay. I mean, they will be waiting. So if one of the job completed or these 5 or 10 completes, the next things will come and join. So STV recents will show all other jobs which are waiting for the slot. STV recents means that many jobs still waiting for the slot, but they're not coming into active state because currently some jobs are running long. Means they are in STV in flight. So as soon as one of the job complete in STV in flight, the job from STV recents will come into in flight. For example, you see, I think if you go anywhere, some people will be allowed inside, other people will be. Yeah, for example, I'll give you a very good example. If you go to restaurant, okay, on a Sunday or something, some all the dining tables are full. Then what we will be doing? We'll be sitting at the, that front office, that reception, right? And as soon as some table free, they will call us, sir, please come. Same thing. Okay, so all the tables, the people who are currently eating, they are STV in flight, means currently running. So as soon as one of the jobs completed, the waiting jobs are, we are waiting at the front office or reception, what we call the restaurant reception. Yeah, the reception, let it be. So we are sitting there, and sometimes there is huge crowd waiting for the tables. Okay, so that's what it is. STV recents means so many jobs. So as soon as some of the tables free, will be allowed, based on first come first serve or whatever the hotel criteria. Understand what is in-flight and what is STV recents?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? Clear, Somnath?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, you see, for example, you can just copy and see in documentation also it will be same. So I don't want to do same thing and search in Google, because you can also do that. Okay, but in fact, you should tell what I presented in the class in the interview, because in the interview we don't read the text, we don't read the documentation. In the interview, you have to present the essence. So whatever I said, STV in flight means it will show the currently executing queries right now on the system bus. You don't have to tell anything else. You see, use the STV in flight table to determine what queries are currently running. Need to be underlined. Currently running on the cluster bus. So you don't have to do anything, you don't have to tell anything, bus. So of course, if you ask, what are the columns, user ID, slice, query, XID means transaction ID, PID means process ID. Okay, start time, text means query text. Okay, query, which query is running, you will be able to see from this table. And when that query started is what start time. So those things will be seen. But similarly, STV in flight. Yeah, after STV in flight, see left hand side, all the tables are there. See here, left hand side, all the tables are there. So, and the next thing is STV recents, right? STV recents, PQR, yeah. So STV recents. STV recents table to find out or to find information about the currently active and recently run queries against a database. Yeah, it will show all the queries that are active, means they're active but they did not get slot. Okay, so see here, status running and done. In this, running means, don't get confused, they are not running but they are waiting for their slot. Okay, if you study this documentation, you don't know that unless you have real-time experience. So that's why I was saying, if currently running means we already said that is STV in flight, then why is saying running? Means the jobs which are waiting are also comes under running. That's why he said like that. Okay, so they are also started. User has started. Okay, see, for example, you started a query. What do you think? You think that your query is running, but you don't know, right, whether it's running or waiting. I am as a DB, I can see whether it's in waiting state or running state. So that's what it is. You think as soon as you run the query, you think, yeah, my query is running. But how long it will run? You are waiting from last 4 hours. But you don't know. You are thinking that it's running, but it's not running. I can see as a DBA, these queries are waiting from last 3 hours, because other jobs are running longer and they did not get slot for them. So the jobs which are active, because in your perspective, yes, it is active. In fact, it's active. You already started that. So that's what it means. STV recents means the jobs which are active on the system but waiting for their slot. So if you present like that, interviewer will be very, he understands that you have the clarity. That means only people working only will have this kind of, answers. So STV recent jobs are actually, they did not get executed. They're only waiting. Okay. So of course, STV recents also will show the completed queries. Completed queries. So completed queries, we don't worry. Okay. So the jobs which are waiting, they are only more concerned. So at the down, you will have also, example. See here, when we are using STV recents, we use status equals to running. Okay, so running status means they are waiting to be completed. To determine what queries are currently running, running means don't get confused. They are not running, but they are waiting for their slot. Okay, so you have to use this. Okay, cool. So see here, see here. The following example action in this case, queries are truly in flight. In flight means you see running, not waiting. You see, in flight means truly in flight. In flight means running, means they are actually executing, not waiting. Okay, so actually truly running are shown from the STV in flight. Okay, so you can also see STV in flight example queries. Okay, select star from STV in flight will give all the queries that are actually executing. That's why I'm using the term executing. Okay, means they are running on the system. Okay, so you will see like this start time. So for this you will have a start time and query text and all. Okay, fine. You see, yeah, you just present the way that I said. In flight means currently they are executing. That's why I used the term executing. Okay, recents means all the queries that are currently running, means you are not giving clarity to the interviewer. So he may again ask you another question. That's why you should say currently waiting for the execution. They are active but waiting for the execution. Like you started the query and you're thinking your query is running, but that's not running, that's waiting. I can see as a DBA. You're understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Similarly, STV locks will have, locking information of all the tables. Okay. So it will have, what locks are applied on, for example, generally read means shared lock will be applied. Okay, right means, you know, for example, you see, I will tell you. You can just actually here, anywhere, three different locks will be there. Generally read lock, write lock, exclusive lock. But in Redshift the terminology is little different. Okay, it is called shared lock. Okay, and exclusive lock, and it's something like exclusive shared lock. So yeah, so see here, this is one of the article provided by AWS. You see, Redshift has three locks: access share lock, access exclusive lock, and share row exclusive lock. Don't get confused. Okay, so shared lock means read. Okay, shared lock means read. Exclusive lock means create, alter, drop, those thing. Same thing like exclusive lock in any other database. So access exclusive lock for DDL operations, alter, drop, truncate, those things. Access share during unload, select. This is read lock actually. Select means what? Read, right? So access share lock, it's a read. And share row exclusive, acquired during copy, insert, update, delete, DML. These are all DMLs: insert, update, delete. Okay, so write lock, share exclusive locks, access exclusive and other attempts, but does not block access share lock. Yeah, I mean same thing. Whenever these are there, none of these transactions will block the read lock, because read lock means it is allowed anytime. So that's what he is saying. Share exclusive lock does not, okay, blocks, does not block access shared lock. Does not block means read lock will always have access. So even for example, a table is getting updated. If another user writes a select star from table name, he will get access. That's what read lock means. Okay, read lock will always get access. So, so yeah, anyway, this is the query to identify sessions that are holding the locks. So this article will give some queries to identify which locks are currently applied, okay, on which table. So here you see SVV transactions is used. Okay, so left join. Yeah, STL table perm. Yeah. Okay, so generally why this is discussed about locks is, I will tell you. All these three are related to locks. Okay, SVV locks, SVV transactions, SVV TR conflict. Okay, so why this is discussed is, for example, I said you started a query, okay, and you're thinking that your query is running. You're thinking that your query is running, but I'm a DBA. I can see that there is one query which is running from last 10 hours on the system, okay, and your query is blocked by that job. That means your query is not started, it is blocked. So at that time you waited, actually your query completes actually in 2 minutes, okay, every day. But you're thinking, okay, let me wait, maybe today it's running long, like that you're thinking, and you waited for 4 hours. Then you reached the DBA, okay, you sent a mail, hey, okay, I'm running so and so job, this is the username, can you please check what happened? It's still not completed, but actually this generally runs in 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm suspecting something wrong with the system. or something wrong with my query. Can you please help? Then he will see that based on the username you gave, he will see that yeah, your job is, it was blocked by the another running job. A job can be blocked only by the other running job because the other job is in execution. So, uh, so and that job is running from last 10 hours. That's the reason it did not release the lock and your query did not proceed. So then he see that this is the job which is blocking your job. Do you want me to cancel that? At that time, you can make action whether you can ask him to cancel that job which is running for 10 hours, or you can ask him to cancel your job. Because if your job is not important, you can just cancel it so that you can do your query maybe after that long running job complete. Or if that job which is running for 10 hours, if it is not a valid query and some useless queries sometimes will impact the system. Some people will run the queries and go. Okay, so yeah, it happens. If you work as a DBA, you will see many of these kind of situations. Or some people they ran the job. For example, you waited for 4 hours, right? Later on, you cancel that and you go. You thought that you cancelled, but in the back end, it's not cancelled. So at that time, your job will block the other jobs, other users. So the job which is running from 10 hours, that user may be already cancelled, but in the backend it's not cancelled and it's impacting your job. So then you can, in this case, you can also ask the DB, hey, can you please cancel the job which is running from 10 hours? Then if you cancel that, your job will proceed further. So yeah, just to tell, in such situations, we make use of, logs. Okay, STV logs, STV transactions, these things. Sometimes the Redshift itself will cancel, okay, the blocking job, and it will capture those transactions in the STLTR conflict. STLTR conflict means that's what it is. Means conflict means the jobs which are cancelled due to this kind of deadlock will be captured in this. See, I mean, this is deadlock. See here, if you read it, you will understand. A transaction conflict occurs when two or more users are querying and modifying data rows from tables such that the transaction cannot be serial. A transaction that runs a statement that would break. Okay, every time a transaction conflict occurs means two jobs are trying to run or access a table. Amazon Redshift writes data, so it will abort one of the table. Okay, it will abort one of the table. You see the transaction runs a statement that would break serialize is stopped and rolled back. That means one of the transaction will be stopped and it will be rolled back. And whenever it stops one of the transaction, it will make an entry in this STLTR conflict table. Okay, so if any query is aborted by the system, it should record it somewhere, right? That is here. STLTR conflict means transaction conflict. Okay, so it will make a entry there. Okay, I have aborted so and so query. Okay, so and so time. So see here output transaction ID, process ID, transaction start, abort time. So when it aborted. So anyway, this is two depth. Okay, logs, transactions, and conflict. These are all related to logs. Okay, but you just if you read this article, you will understand about how the things will move. How to abort a running transaction? PZ terminate backend. Okay, that will be there here. You have to use PZ terminate backend if you want to abort anything. Okay, select PZ terminate backend. This is PID, process ID. If you give, that will be aborted. I mean, generally, when you're trying with 2 years or 3 years, He may ask, although these are simple, but it will be asked, okay, how do you terminate? Some people will say that, in Redshift is there, right? So, for example, see here queries are there, right? So I will about, I think here also some about, I think, yeah, here also some, see, I will show you queries. Okay, okay. So if you come here, so queries and loads, I mean, if you run any queries, they will appear here actually. Okay, so some people will say that, in AWS console, I'll check this query and I will, I will cancel it. I mean, generally this will be highlighted. Or for example, you select this query. Yeah. So actually, if it is running, you will see terminate query, but these are already completed. Okay. If it is running, you will see terminate query highlighted. Okay. Nothing is running. So that's why it's not getting. If it is any running queries, then actually there is nothing running queries now. If anything like that, then you will see terminate query button. You can abort from here. But if you want to abort any query, we should not do from here. In fact, you will not have access to this console in the real time. Only DBS will have access. Okay, so you should not tell this kind of answers. You should tell only I will use PZ terminate backend. Okay, to abort any long running query or the query which is blocking my job. What is that? PZ terminate backend. Select PZ terminate backend. That's what I will use to abort my queries. Okay. So STV sessions, it will show all the sessions. What is a session? You see, what is a session? Everything that is running on the system is a session. Okay. So I mean, for everything you see, like I'm doing, you should do. In fact, you should do it and study. Okay, and see the examples. Okay. So you see, always books are the basis. Okay, because AWS will keep change. Any new updates also you will see in the documentation. So always depend on the books. Okay. So, but the theme or essence is whatever I said. Okay, that will help you to begin. But there is long way to go. You have to get the, lot of knowledge. You have to do, practical job and all. So books will always help. Books means this, the documentation. So you see, use the STV sessions table to view the information about the active user sessions. Okay, so what is active on the system? Everything, for example, I'm running, right? It will establish a session. I mean, connection it will establish, right? That's a session. Okay, so you see, start time will be there, process ID will be there, username will be there, TB name will be there. So that's a session. Like that, any connection that you set to database, it comes under as a session. Okay. Select count star means how many sessions currently active for the Redshift cluster. Okay. See here, select star from STV sessions. When the time, the process, which user, and which database is connecting. So STV sessions. Of course, STL query is most important actually. For example, yesterday one query long ran. Let's say weekend, some query ran long and it impacted. As I said, your manager asked you to troubleshoot. Then you can query STL query, and STL statement text. Both will have the query text. Okay, so these two will be used to get the query text. Query text means select something you will write, right? That query text. So especially completed query, you will find it. For example, STL query. See here. Generally, he will ask, okay, yesterday one of my job, ran long and I want to troubleshoot that, or I want to know how do you know that query. Generally, he will ask, how do you know that query? I want to know the query text. STL query. Bus. You have to use the STL query. You see, runs execution information about a database query. Returns. What STL query will give? Returns execution information of a database query. So user ID, query ID. Query means query ID. Okay. XID means transaction ID, PID, process ID. That is a query text. See, actual query text of that query. Start time, end time. When it started, when it end. Aborted. If it's aborted, see, if a query was stopped by the system or cancelled by the user, this column contains 1. Okay, means if it's aborted, it's 1. If it's completed successfully, it's 0. If the query ran to completion, then it's 0. Okay, so aborted 0 means it's completed successfully. Aborted 1 means it's cancelled or stopped by the user, or user aborted this query. So based on that, you can see from STL query, very, very important STL query. Okay, so it will capture, you see, returns execution information about a database query. Okay, okay. Then what is the other table? SVL statement text. SVL statement text. Let's see what is this. This is also return same information, boss. You see, use SVL statement text to view to get a complete record of all the SQL commands that have been run on the system. Okay, so it will have all the queries, means inserts, deletes, create, alter, drop, all the things. But you see, SQL query text will have only, for example, you see here, STL query text. Okay, we use only certain information about queries. You see, not other utility and DDL commands. DDL commands means, alter, drop, truncate, such kind of information it will not list. Only queries means selects, inserts, updates, those things it will display. Okay, so you see here also mentioned, for complete listing of all statements you can use SVL statement text. Okay, you want to know creates, you want to know alters, you want to know drops. Okay, you want to know grants, you want to know revokes. So anything that run, then SVL statement text. But only, we generally concerned about, select statement, insert, update, delete, most of our job at that time, STL query. So that's why our generally we first most of our work will link with STL query. Or for example, someone has dropped a table. Drop statement will not be there in STL query. So you have to use SVL statement text. So like that, because drop is a DDL. So that's what. So you can use these two, SQL query and SQL statement text. See here, see here, it will have create, drops, everything. Okay, so yeah, generally he will ask you, can you please tell me what are the different system tables, you can tell SPV table info, STL load error, connection log, STV slices, you can, and STV in-flight, STV recents. You can tell. If you can know only you tell, otherwise you just tell one first five you can tell. Okay, or STV recents and in-flight. Till here you can tell. But I always say, whatever I taught or whatever I noted in this documentation, if you know, that is the best. Okay, so don't put any discounts or considerations in this notebook. Already I filtered everything and prepared this. Okay, so put all your efforts to prepare whatever is there in this in this notepad. Okay, are we good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,